All right, it is the WrestleMania Night 2 post-show here on the Ringside Report Network. We've got a special guest joining us here. Let's do it. Start. Put your ones up. Acknowledge the tribal chief and still WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. And to join me here on night 2 of WrestleMania, we've got a huge guest. I hear him breathing already. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt from the Ringside Report Network. He's going to help us break down the WWE and UFC merger of sorts, as it seems as though Endeavor, UFC's parent company, is about to purchase the WWE. So we'll talk about that, as well as night 2 of WrestleMania. None other than AJ DeLessio in studio. Nope, it's not Johnny North. It's AJ. What's up, AJ?
Oh, Dave. What a crazy night of wrestling.
What a crazy night of professional wrestling.
The strangest thing.
All right, we'll get AJ's thoughts. We'll get AJ's thoughts on wrestling.
Professional wrestler.
AJ doesn't know that wrestling is a work, so he's a little bit confused on some of the inner workings of pro wrestling. So we'll try and explain what happened at WrestleMania to AJ and then hear his thoughts, because he watched WrestleMania
Cody
night 2.
got robbed, man. That's what I'll tell you right now. Cody got robbed.
All right, AJ's mad that Cody got robbed. And AJ's not the only guy who's upset that Cody did not beat Roman Reigns tonight. This was the outcome that I expected. I want to give a shout-out to everybody watching us live here, seeing a lot of the members, Ray Cruz, Leor, Doug Hepburn, and so many others watching us, of course, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, and
don't forget Rumble.
Of course, on Rumble. We got our man Eagle 999 over on Rumble. See, had Matt Henley, Ryan Katz, a lot of the regulars checking in, Chris Carter over on YouTube. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight on the WrestleMania 39 Night 2 post-show. I thought WrestleMania Night 2 was all right. I don't think it was as good as Night 1. I thought Night 1 was better, but I thought Night 2 was a pretty solid night of professional wrestling. I thought we had some pretty good matches. The main event was quite something. Quite a match, quite an emotional roller coaster. They told a great story, and we got a finish that I think a lot of people were not expecting, even though I got to pat myself on the back here, AJ. I did predict Roman Reigns to retain the championship. I have been predicting this, and I predicted it on our preview show. Johnny North predicted Cody Rhodes to win. A lot of people expected Cody Rhodes to finish the story here tonight, but he did not. Instead, we have the perennial WWE champion, the WWE star, Roman Reigns, retaining on the biggest show of the year for the WWE, retaining the top championship. And there you go, AJ representing there, acknowledging the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, who beats Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania here tonight to retain the WWE title. Some people are upset. A lot of people are upset, actually. I saw a lot of people mad on Twitter, legit mad at the result, thinking that WWE fumbled the ball here. I don't think that they did. I think that they sent the right message to their locker room and to the wrestling world.
What was the message? To cheat?
Well,
that's the message I got.
Cheat. Well, I don't think you really understand what went on here. So Roman walks away still champion. Roman stands tall at the end of the night on the biggest show of the year. The message is, if you stick with us, if you are loyal to the brand, if you are loyal to the WWE, we will reward you. We will reward our guys. We will put our WWE superstars over people that made it big somewhere else. And I saw Cody Rhodes as a guy who made it big somewhere else. Now, you don't really know the history of Cody Rhodes, but for those that do, they understand Cody Rhodes was a guy who started in the WWE, but had a little run as Stardust and Dashing Cody Rhodes and different things that he did, and he never really got over. He never really got to be a star. He decided to not sign a new contract with WWE, leave the WWE. He had a lot of success on the indies, in New Japan, in Ring of Honor, and then eventually started AEW. He started the competition. He started the main competition for the WWE, did that for a few years, then decided he wanted to go back to the WWE and be a top star there. Now, I think it would set a pretty bad precedent for the WWE to go in and take a guy like Cody Rhodes and say, yeah, he's our new top star. We're going to take Roman Reigns, who is the new Hulk Hogan, the new John Cena, the new Bruno Sammartino. I mean, they told you tonight on the broadcast only 3 men have held WWE championships longer than Roman Reigns. Those 3 men are Pedro Morales, Bob Backlund, and Bruno Sammartino. Sorry, 4 men. Hulk Hogan was on that list too. That is rarefied air that Roman Reigns is standing in. He's a different type of champion. He's on a different type of level for the WWE right now, and that's why they had him up tonight at their biggest show of the year, because he's the WWE guy. It's a WWE show, and if they put Cody over Roman, it's a very un-WWE thing to do. So not only am I not mad at the move, I'm actually kind of pleased with it, because I think that this is the best thing to do for the WWE. Because if you don't put Roman over here, you tell a guy like Seth Rollins, hey, Seth, when your contract is up, there's no point in re-signing with us, because we're just going to sign Kenny Omega or MJF and have him beat you and then beat the top champion at WrestleMania, and he's going to take your spot. Which is not what you want to say to your top talent. Because then Seth Rollins will say, okay, well, when my contract is up, I'm not going to re-sign here so I could lose to an MJF or Ricky Starks or whoever you sign, whoever your brand new toy is, whoever the flavor of the month is. I'm going to go to AEW. I'm going to get myself more over there, and then I'm going to come back to WWE, and then you'll give me the main event of WrestleMania. So putting Cody over tonight, I think, sends a message to guys like Seth Rollins, who already seems displeased that Cody was even getting this match tonight. I think the message that you send by having Cody win is one that tells your roster, leave, come back, then we'll reward you. Not stay, get over, and be rewarded. So that's why Roman Reigns won tonight. I think that's one of the main reasons why Roman Reigns won tonight. Also, he's the hottest act in the business. Why slow it down? Why stop a good thing? You saw the Usos show up tonight in the match. They had new Bloodline t-shirts. The Bloodline's not going anywhere. Why would it go anywhere? It's the best thing going today.
Whoa, Dave. I don't want to rain on your parade there, bud. But I'll be honest, man, if there's a lot of people getting upset on Twitter and everywhere else, including AJ, listen, man, no offense to Antoinette. I love her. Roman Reigns is awesome. But damn, the message I got tonight was it's okay to cheat, man. Nothing getting a throat punch from a guy who got disqualified.
Okay.
That whole match should be disqualified.
AJ,
he should have been back in there.
It's a show.
I don't give a rat's ass, man.
You don't care about it. What? I don't. Okay. So AJ, see, like I said, AJ doesn't understand pro wrestling. But he likes it.
Man.
You don't.
Cody should have won. Mind you.
Right. So I can run through what happened here in the match. I thought the match was fantastic. I want to know from you, what was your match of the night here at WrestleMania 39 Night 2?
It's a tough one, man. It was a good night.
And also, I guess, what was your match of the weekend overall? I think tonight we had some pretty good matches. I liked Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew. I thought that was fantastic. I thought Bianca and Asuka did an okay job there. Good match. Edge and Finn Balor was pretty good. But I think for me, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes has got to be the match of the night. It's what everybody was here for. It was the main event. It was the longest match by far. It's what everybody was at WrestleMania for. And it took you on the most interesting ride. You know, watching that match, it had the most emotions behind it. And it had, you know, more twists and turns than any other match that we saw tonight, right? There was a lot more into it, but it was, I'd say, the best match of the night. But still, I'd say my favorite match of the weekend would be Rhea and Charlotte from last night. That was my match of the night on night one. And I would even say that I preferred the Kevin and Sami tag match over Roman and Cody, but that's close. It was close. Very good match, though. All great matches. We saw some really good wrestling on both nights of WrestleMania. But I thought night two was maybe just not as good as night one. But my match of the night is Roman and Cody, for sure. I think Roman and Cody is match of the night. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat saying, AJ Mania, woo! There you go. AJ Mania running wild, baby. Angela wants to know, did Roman win clean? Roman did not win clean. He did not. I'll run through exactly how Roman won if you did not see the match here in just a minute. Leor says, match of the night and best WrestleMania match was Cody Roman. Had the most big fight feel. I agree. I did think it had the most big fight feel. It was the match that everybody was at WrestleMania for, right? It was the biggest match of the weekend for sure, as far as box office, as far as hype, as far as build, right? Angelo says Owens and Zayn winning the tag titles is his moment of the weekend. Carmine Mambro says main event was best night of night two, but Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley is match of the weekend. I'm with you there, Carmine. I agree 100%. And Carmine agrees that night one was better. Ryan Katz says, I'd say the tag match to end night one was match of the weekend. Okay. Harold Schneider dropping a $5 super chat wants to know AJ's thoughts on the destruction of the Spanish announce table. Do you like when they destroy the announce tables?
Super chat.
I loved it, man. But it's so much for the Spanish, like commentating at that point, man. Niente, finito, hasta luego.
Niete?
I don't know. I just threw it in there.
Niet is
but
Russian.
All I'm gonna say is, you know what? I was glad about one thing.
Is not Spanish.
Well, it's close enough. Nientes.
Okay, what was your match of the night tonight, AJ? Do you agree with me and pretty much everybody else that Cody and Roman was the best match, or did you like Brock Lesnar and Omos in the opener?
Brock Lesnar, man, that was crazy, man. I'm telling you, I never thought I could see like Brock Lesnar looking so small. He looked like a little child, and to be honest, he was getting smacked around. Somebody said manhandled. I'm like, he got child handled. He was being slapped around like there was no tomorrow. And in fact, I was so sure Brock was going to lose. I'm like, you know what? I think Brock is going to lose. And he ended up winning. But between me and you know what I texted you? I said, Brock's going to lose if they meet again. I'm telling you.
If they meet again. Okay. So,
man.
so Roman and Cody, was Roman and Cody your favorite match? I don't know if I got an answer there.
Listen, I like the final match. I just didn't like the way it kind of escalated with, like, you know, the punch to the throat that Cody lost.
You don't like the cheating.
I don't like the cheating, man.
Okay.
You know, you got to win fair. But my match of the night was actually the Gunther, Sheamus, and McIntyre fight. I really enjoyed that one, man. That was exciting, man.
It was very good. It was very good, and I don't blame you for picking that as your match of the night. It was a lot of fun. But AJ was mad that there was a lot of cheating. First of all, the entrances for this match, fantastic. Cody had his wife, his daughter, his mom, and little Brody Lee. Of course, -1, who is the son of the late, great Brody Lee. He was there for his entrance. Very nice stuff there for Cody to be doing all that. Roman had 6 pianists with 6 pianos there for his entrance. What a majestic entrance for the tribal chief. He had Solo Sikoa and Roman, and of course Paul Heyman come to the ring with him. Roman early in the match powerbombed Cody on the ramp. Solo hit Cody with a chair in the back while the ref's back was turned. A lot of interference there from Solo, which is what is upsetting our man AJ there. So there was a chair shot, but the ref didn't catch that. Eventually, they spill out to the outside. Cody backdrops Roman through the announce table. Solo then smacked Cody with Cody's weight belt, but the ref heard it as Cody took a big bump and then ejected Solo from ringside. So he was meant to leave forever, but as we'll see, he did come back. Roman grabbed the weight belt here, but the ref tried to take it from him. They kind of struggled for a second, and Cody super kicked Roman, hit the crossroads. 1, 2. See, AJ doesn't seem to mind when Cody Rhodes is getting assistance from the referee to nearly beat Roman Reigns. That's not cheating, AJ? That's okay?
I don't know if that was assistance, really, but okay, whatever.
The referee's jostling with Roman, and then he's allowing Cody to kick Roman in the face.
I don't know if that was cheating. I think that
I don't know, man. Like, you ever see Herb Dean in the UFC give a guy a warning for his his fingers being up, and then the other guy sucker punch him? The other guy sucker punch him in the head while Herb Dean's having a conversation? I don't think that'd be allowed.
I don't know, man.
Maybe it would. Maybe it will now under the new Endeavor WWE UFC merger, right? Anything goes, brother, in the UFC.
I knew that was going to happen, man. I called that a long time ago. I told you a long time ago that was a possibility. No one believed me. Nobody believes AJ.
So,
but I proved them right.
So 2 count there. It looked close there after the crossroads from Cody. Roman kicked out, hit a rock bottom for a 2 count. Cody then dodged a Superman punch and hit a pedigree for a 2 count. That's when they were doing their Attitude Era finishers back-to-back. Roman with the rock bottom, Cody with the pedigree. Cody went for a disaster kick, and Roman countered with a flying Superman punch that looked like it connected real nicely. It was a beautiful Superman punch there from the tribal chief. Roman then hit the spear, but Cody kicked out at 2. Roman applying the guillotine choke. I know AJ, Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, appreciating the guillotine choke. Didn't love the application there. It wasn't perfect. Get the chin pick, Roman. Get that chin pick, baby.
There was something that bothered me more than the guillotine. It was the figure 4 when Cody had the figure 4 on Roman Reigns. I'm like, you had it, man. You could close it, but you got the heel. The heel was just perfectly placed to end that right there. But I'm just saying.
It didn't quite finish there with the figure 4. Cody had the figure 4, but Roman turned it over and got out of the figure 4 leg lock. Roman had the guillotine on Cody. It looked like it might be over, but Cody fought out of it, mounted Roman, threw a bunch of punches. Cody then accidentally threw a big boot at the referee, and that's when things got a little messy. Roman hit another Superman punch, but Cody clotheslined him, and they both went down, so everybody's down. They get to their feet. Cody grabs Roman for the crossroads, but the Usos show up out of nowhere with a double super kick on Cody. They hit him with the 1D. Cody's down. Looks like Cody's out. But here comes Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the save. They fight with the Usos. Then Kevin hits Roman with a stunner. Sami hits him with the haluva kick. Is that okay, AJ? That seems like cheating. Interference.
No,
you're
man,
only mad. You're only mad when the heel is cheating, but when the babyface is cheating, you seem to have no problem with it.
They were cheating, man. They came into that's what you call, man.
They came in. They came in to fight off the Usos, but why did they have to attack the tribal chief after that?
Because it was deserved.
Okay. Yeah, Jason Pete, don't wait. Stay tuned here. We'll talk about that UFC WWE merger, which is happening, and I'm not bullshitting. It's actually happening, and it's so crazy. So we'll get to it. Believe me, we got to talk about WrestleMania first, but we've got a lot to talk about here tonight. It's a crazy crazy day in professional wrestling and MMA. So it's good, actually, that AJ is here with us tonight. I mean, it's kind of good that AJ's with us here tonight. So
well, listen, but I had a time watching it tonight. I'll be honest.
What?
I was happy to be watching WrestleMania. I thought it was a great night. I thought it was going to be a tough one.
So we'll get your rating on 10 on WrestleMania here in a minute, AJ, but I want to get through the main event. So Cody took the 1D, but then Kevin and Sami come out, and they hit Roman with their finishers. So both guys are down. The Usos brawl away with Kevin and Sami kind of through the crowd, and they disappear. And the referee wakes up, and Cody crawls on top of Roman, who's just taken 2 finishers. 1, 2, and Roman lifts his shoulder, kicks out. Then Cody hits the Dusty Rhodes punches. He goes boom, boom, shake, rattle, roll, boom with the elbow, bionic elbow, and you're like, uh-oh. Then he drops down, hits the Goldust punch, and I was like, whoa, he's going from Dusty to Goldust. And then he goes for Crossroads, boom, 1 Crossroads. Then he picks Roman up for a second Crossroads, and I'm like, uh-oh, I know where this is going. I've seen this before. This is going to be a triple Crossroads, 1, 2, 3. Cody's about to win here. It really felt like Cody was going to win in that moment, but after the second Crossroads, Paul Heyman gets up on the apron, gets the attention of the referee, and who comes back but the Enforcer, Solo Sikoa, hits Cody, boom, with the Samoan spike right in the neck. Roman Reigns with the spear, 1, 2, 3, and Los Angeles could not believe it. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns still WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. And I was loving it. Let me tell you, I was loving it because I thought Roman was going to win. I really believed Roman was going to win, but there was a part of me that thought, I mean, they could give it to Cody, right? It was definitely a possibility, but you could tell that the crowd really believed Cody was going to win. And when he didn't, it was just...
I thought he was going to win.
They couldn't believe it. Just in shock and real anger. And that's what you want when you're a heel champion. You want people to be paying to see you lose. And when you win, you want them to be pissed off. So they'll pay even more the next time because you might lose next time. But you probably won't because you're the tribal chief and you're the best.
He should lose next time, in my opinion. But hey.
He won't.
You never know, Dave. You never know.
Maybe SummerSlam. I think Cody might take it from Roman at SummerSlam.
Ooh, there you go.
Cody,
bold prediction.
If not Cody, possibly Seth, quite frankly. Quite Franklin. But yeah, I think either Cody or Seth takes it from Roman at SummerSlam. But maybe not. Maybe not. So I was not mad at the result. Angelo saying, will Roman ever drop the title? I mean, yeah, right? Eventually. But at this point, I'm not sure when. And it may not be until next year's WrestleMania. And I don't know if he needs to drop it before next year's WrestleMania. Or if he even needs to drop it at next year's WrestleMania. He is on another level. He is in that God mode. The match tonight was fantastic. He is delivering in every aspect of the game. Look, promo, in the ring, he's got everything down. He's got the aura, he's the tribal chief, he's got it all down. They got the people believing Roman was going down tonight. They got me almost wondering. I mean, up until this week, when I really gave it a good think, I was thinking, I'll probably give it to Cody. They seem to be giving everything to Cody. But then when I realized, like, wait a second. This is WWE. This is Roman Reigns. This is his yard. He's not losing to this outsider. And he didn't. He did not. Roman Reigns, the one. They the twos. We the ones. There's nobody at his level. Exactly, AG. Nobody at his level. Not Cody. Not John Moxley.
Cody
not
pretty
Seth
star
Rollins.
level to me, man.
Not even your boy Logan Paul. is at
Whoa,
the
whoa,
level of
don't diss
Roman
Logan, man.
Reigns. Come
Listen,
on,
Dave,
shout out Logan.
Prime #1, slam it. Listen, I'm gonna just say one thing. I think Cody Rhodes is that star level, man. He looked good. He looked sharp, man. He just has that character, man. There's something about him. I you know what? I was disappointed that he lost. I thought he was gonna win, but he has that star level. I'm just telling you, man.
That is not good.
Take it easy, Dave. There goes our sponsorship.
I'm trying to give Prime a chance, but god damn Logan
Dave.
Paul, make a better
Damn,
drink.
Dave, you keep ruining it for us.
At least it's only
First
$3
Trojan,
at the
now it's
Depanneur
gonna
now.
be Prime.
At the little Depanneur
Well,
near me,
that's
it's only
reasonable.
$3 or $3.50. Pretty good.
Are you sure it's really Prime? It doesn't say Prum?
No, it's
Is
real
it the real
Prime.
shit?
It's real Prime.
Okay,
it's at
just
the
to make sure.
Couche-Tard, man. Couche-Tard.
Couche-Tard.
They got authentic shit. They're not messing around at Couche-Tard.
Listen, man, is it just me, or were you like shocked with the whole thing with Snoop Dogg, man? I'm telling you, man, when Shane did like his thing there, I remember he buckled. I'm telling you, he really got injured. I think
that
it was
was
an
crazy.
ACL.
Yeah. I want to talk about that in a second.
Popped, man.
But Trans Am is saying not even Danielson, Dave. No. Danielson is better than Roman, of course. Bryan Danielson's better than everybody. Come on, Trans Am. You know me better than that. I mean, Roman Reigns is great. He's the best thing going in the WWE. He's the biggest star in pro wrestling right now. He's the biggest box office draw in pro wrestling right now. But as far as who's the best pro wrestler in the game today, it's Bryan Danielson without a doubt, by far. And yeah, I think Shane may have torn his ACL. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a work because of the way it all worked out.
Oh,
it was so weird. It was such a weird moment. So The Miz and Snoop Dogg are in the ring to announce the attendance, and The Miz is unhappy because Snoop Dogg put him in a match last night with Pat McAfee, and Miz feels like Snoop didn't have his back, and Snoop is like, well, Miz, how about this? How about you have another match tonight? And then he introduces Shane McMahon, and you're like, what the hell is Shane McMahon doing here? I thought he was done with the WWE, but apparently not. And now it's a match, Shane McMahon versus The Miz. And Shane does the drop-down leapfrog spot, basic pro wrestling, does the drop-down, does a leapfrog, and he seems to clip Miz as he jumps up for the leapfrog and then lands weird.
Yeah.
And he falls over funny, and Miz is confused looking.
Ooh.
And they kind of cut away from Shane, and it looks like his knee has been messed up. But then Snoop Dogg immediately seems to get in the ring. He got in the ring real quick and is like, oh, Shane, are you okay? And he's like, oh, Miz, why you do that to my friend? And you just punch the Miz in the face. It looked like a good shot, too. I was like, my God, Snoop Dogg, is Miz okay?
Don't mess with the dog, man.
And then Snoop gets mad again and punches Miz again. And the second shot was not as stiff as the first one, but the first one was like, damn. And then Snoop goes for like a people's elbow, and the ref seems to be telling Snoop to be doing some stuff, right? Snoop goes for the people's elbow and then pins Miz, and the ref counts to 3. It just kind of finished so perfectly that I thought, and I've seen too much pro wrestling, man. This seemed fake. Was Shane really hurt? But I think Shane was hurt, and they just said, Snoop, come and do the thing. I think Snoop was supposed to punch Miz and do a people's elbow at some point, maybe after the match or during the match or whatever. But because Shane got hurt, they're like, just come in and do it now. And then he did, and it worked out. Like, it all kind of tied together well. And like Ahmad is saying, Snoop saved that segment. He really, really did. But it was bizarre. Like I said on Twitter, like, is Shane really hurt? I'm skeptical because Snoop came in there and saved the day so quickly. Like, I haven't seen Snoop save a situation like that since he was at the Sunnyvale Trailer Park. Like, Snoop Dogg came in and made everything all right. As I'm sure he does everywhere he goes, right? Snoop Dogg, I'm sure he spreads joy and cheer and smoke and laughter everywhere he goes. God bless the Dog Father of WrestleMania, proving tonight why he was there. Really showing his worth. Why SNOOPDOGG was there tonight. He was there to make everything run smoothly.
Woof woof. You
because
bet, man.
he's
I'm
the
telling you.
the dog father of WrestleMania. Bow wow.
Damn, he is. I'm telling you, he was so slick, man. When he came in, he just like kind of walked over, and then he slowly
good.
walked over, and then he's like, you know what the fuck? I'm gonna do whatever. I called it the Flying Baron. I was thinking of Snoopy at that point. I'm like, man, there goes like Snoop Dogg up in the air, and his leg kick was like really high. He went up in the air, man. He was flying, came down with that elbow. I'm like, damn, Snoop is like he's actually doing it. Goes in, the 3 count, and here we are, man. He's a champion, man. He's going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, man. Guaranteed. Snoop Dogg, man. You can't get any cooler than that. And that punch, man, when he threw that right, the first one, I'm like, damn, he's been taking lessons from Tyson. Because I know those two guys spoke together all the time. And I'm like, holy shit, man. This is getting crazy. Because I knew that Shane really hurt himself. I saw that leg buckle, and I know real like injuries, man.
Yeah.
When I saw that knee buckle, I texted you right away. I'm like, this guy really got hurt. You can see it in his face when those 3, like, you had the ref and 2 other people over him. They're like, holy shit, man, we're going to need a stretcher to carry this guy out because Shane went down. It was beautiful.
Though. They didn't have a stretcher. They just kind of, did the deal where
backs.
he's got people, he's holding on to people, and he jumped out. He hopped
out. Listen, he's probably getting like an MRI right now as we speak because that shit was real.
Or surgery.
I'm going to tell you something.
The guy's the son of a billionaire. He could get surgery like that if he needs it. You know what I mean?
He is, man. But he lost the belt, man. Snoop's got the belt. Who's going to fight Snoop now? Nobody.
Snoop, man.
West Coast
saved the day. Snoop is slick, man. That's the thing with Snoop.
I love Snoop. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Who would have ever thought that a rapper would beat a pro wrestler? Poor Miz, man. He lost two suits of like $20,000 each, plus the belt, plus he got like, taken out by Snoop Dogg. How are you going to live that shit? How are you going to, like, no one's going to take you serious from now on.
Doug Hepburn says Snoop should have gone coast to coast. Anyone that high could make it. No, I think only RVD could be that high and make it, Doug.
Central Coast, man.
I don't know. I've been up there, but I don't think I could go all the way. The Central Coast. Yeah, Snoop Dogg, man. What a fantastic guy. AJ, let me reveal something about you. What's your favorite Snoop Dogg song? Do you have one? Could you name a Snoop Dogg song?
Listen, man, like the theme song to Ringside Report, man, every time I hear that, I think about our show.
What's the name of the song?
It doesn't matter what the name of the song is. I'm not like an expert at everything. I just know it's a Snoop Dogg song, man.
Okay.
You tell me. I don't know, man. What is it?
It's
the
next episode. It's the Dr. Dre song. The next episode. It was an old song.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What do you mean we used to use?
We love Snoop Dogg on... We don't use that song at all in any way.
Well, I kind of do sometimes, but that's okay.
All right. So we saw
Snoop
from tonight.
Sorry, man.
Snoop saved the day. Snoop did great. And, yeah, I love Snoop. What's my favorite Snoop song? I got a lot. Probably The Shiznit. I would say The Shiznit.
What?
You ever heard that one? That's a good one.
I know Schnizzle to the Whizzle, no.
Tremendous. Snoop Dogg is the shit, biatch. Tremendous.
Hey, listen, man, I want to know who that guy was singing the anthem.
It's probably my favorite Snoop Dogg. Ain't No Fun is pretty good too. Lottie Dottie is good, but the Shiznit I think is my favorite. Gin and Juice. Gin and Juice is good. What's My Name? All the classics.
What's My Name?
He had a few later on that were really good too. He's got one song called Stacey Adams. We stay on point like Stacey Adams. Tremendous song. Tremendous. Man, I'm a big Snoop Dogg fan, so I love him. And, of course, we saw Snoop Dogg, but not his cousin, Sasha Banks, because she doesn't wrestle there anymore. No Sasha Banks. But you can see that pro wrestling runs in that family, brother. You see Snoop Dogg, you see Sasha Banks. I mean, they are two people that know what to do inside of that squared circle. Tremendous. Okay,
night,
score
man.
on
Crazy
10.
Night.
Score on 10 on this pay-per-view. I saw a couple scores on 10 earlier here in the chat. But drop your score on 10 right now in the chat on this pay-per-view. How are you feeling on this thing? I'm giving this, I don't know. The main event was good. I thought Edge and Finn was good. Bianca and Asuka was good. Gunther and Sheamus was good. Last
Snoop
night I
winning,
thought
man?
was an
Come
8.
on, Dave.
Last night I thought was an 8. Tonight I thought was not quite as good as last night. So I'll go with a but it was still good. You know, like it was good,
man.
It was good, but not as good as last night. So I'll go with a 7.5. 7.5. Maybe a 7.
Damn, you guys
No,
are
I'm going
hard.
with a 7. I'm going with a 7 because the matches last night really elevated that show. The 2 matches that I saw last night that stole the show, I think were better than all the matches that we saw tonight. So that's got to count for something. Kevin and Sami against the Usos and Rhea Ripley against Charlotte, to me, were the 2 best matches of the weekend. And if I were to rank them, I'd put Roman and Cody right after those. I'd go Rhea, Charlotte, Kevin, Sami against Usos, and then Roman against Cody. And then, whatever. But overall, tonight, I thought the show was really solid, but some of these matches just kind of fell flat. And, some of them were good, but not, exceptional. Like Bianca and Asuka, I thought was good, but not out of this world exceptional.
How about Hell in a Cell, man? What did you think of that one?
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it
I've never seen so many,
had a bit of a problem. A lot of weapons. They started with the weapons, which I didn't love. I didn't love that they started right off the bat with weapons and then went into mat wrestling kind of after that. To me, you start slow and finish fast, but they kind of went back and forth. Like they started with weapons and then went to wrestling, then went back to weapons. It was a little disjointed for me, so I didn't love it. I thought it kind of dragged at first. Like at first, it was kind of like, what the hell's going on here? And then it kind of dragged, but then it picked up towards the end. Like I feel like the first third of the match was not great. The second third was a little better, and then the final third was quite good, So I liked it, but we're seeing some scores here. I'm going with a 7 on 10. Yesterday I had an 8, and that's where Ahmad is going to, 7 on 10. He had an 8 yesterday. That makes sense to me. 7.5 for AG. Jason Pete wants to know if Snoop and Sasha are direct cousins. Yes, they are, as far as I know. Woods MMA UK giving it an 8. Leor says 7 tonight, 7.5 last night. Harold Schneider going 7.5 for tonight. Doug Hepburn with a 6 on 10. AG says last night 9. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So kind of all over the place between 6 and 8, I'd say. And last night, I'd say it was between 7 and 9. That was the range. So that makes sense to me. I think last night was a little bit better than tonight. Not to say that tonight was a bad show. I just thought that last night was a very, very good show, and tonight was a very good show. Eagle 999 over on Rumble giving the show a 9 tonight, so he liked the show tonight. AJ, what are you doing?
Look, I thought it was a great show. It was super exciting. A lot of unexpected. Yeah, I watched. I didn't watch it all.
No, you didn't. You were watching boxing last night.
I was watching boxing. I told you that was going to be. So I was going back and forth.
Once again, 2 nights in a row, Dave predicted the main event in an upset. I called the
same thing, man.
No, I said Pettis would beat Roy Jones. You said he wouldn't. You said Roy Jones would win. You didn't call the same thing. Right. Only Dave called that.
You're right. You're right, dude. You're right.
Yeah.
But
I know,
Roy Jones
I'm always
looked
right.
Great, man. You're right. You got that one. Okay, I apologize. All I can say is it was fantastic boxing yesterday, man. And it was none of this bullshit exhibition stuff. These guys came out to box. People got knocked out.
No, I don't care about that. No, I don't care whatsoever. Don't tell me about that. This is a WrestleMania show. Stop wasting my time. Give me a score on 10 of tonight. So you didn't watch WrestleMania last night. You watched WrestleMania tonight. What was your score on 10?
I'll give it an
Don't review the
man.
boxing last night, the freak show boxing. I don't care about that.
It was a freak show, man. Listen, man, we all had to do something. I took the boxing side. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you, I thought it was a great show. I'd give it an 8.5, man. Even 9. It was fantastic. It kept me on the edge of my seat. It was entertaining. I loved it, man. Even the freaking Hell in a Cell, it was good, except too many candlesticks. Other than that, man. 8.5. Let's go with 8.5.
Okay. Ray Cruz, member of the team, says night 1, 8, night 2, 7. Exactly the way I saw it, Ray. Exactly the way
Rey Mysterio, man.
I saw it.
Tip my hat to that guy.
Okay. He tipping his hat to Rey Mysterio. You thought there was too many kendo sticks in the Hell in a Cell.
Damn, there was too many kendo sticks. What was up with that, man?
Did you like the purple kendo sticks and the red chairs? They painted the weapons for some reason.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, man. That
I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe like it's like elastic bands in like a yoga class. One is like stronger than the other. I have no idea, man. But all I can tell you is in that match, I mean, at one point, I think the Demon had to go to the side because they had to attend to him because he was bleeding.
Which sucks. Okay, that totally sucks.
He's the Demon, man. You're gonna bleed, dude.
Exactly. So at one point, Edge throws a ladder right at Finn Balor's head, and it cracks him wide open, and he starts leaking all over the ring. I loved it. I was like, man, he just whipped that ladder right in his face. Tremendous. And in the good old days, he would have just, bled.
You fight it out.
But now in the WWE, they're like, no, no, no. And then they stopped showing Finn on camera, and the referee called the doctor into the cell. Into the cell. They stopped the action. Edge went to set up a ladder in a corner, and he just kind of tried to look busy while they completely stopped the match and killed all momentum that they had up until that point.
And you catch it on camera, too.
Especially when, you have this amazing moment. Edge whipped the ladder in Finn's face. You have great camera shots of it. You're showing replays. Finn Balor is bleeding all over the ring. This is supposed to be a match in hell. It's a cage match.
Man.
It's the Demon versus the Devil. It is violent. There are tables. There are ladders. There are chairs. There are kendo sticks. But if there is a speck of blood, you stop the whole damn match. What the hell are you doing? It's WrestleMania. Give me some blood and guts in one match. It doesn't have to be everywhere, but you can allow it, especially when these guys aren't blading. They're not taking a razor blade to their head and doing it on purpose for the effect. He got busted open the hard way in a hardcore cage match. You let that shit go. You don't stop the fight. It looks terrible. It makes the whole show look weak. It makes everything look fake. Because what you're telling us is these are all fights. But if anybody bleeds, it has to stop immediately. Well, then that's not really a fight. It's not really a fight. And especially when you're building up this match, Hell in a Cell, that's supposed to be ultra-violent and demonic and all of this, when in the end you have to stop it because Finn is bleeding. And that's when the momentum was at its peak. Everything is like, oh my God, Finn just took that crazy shot. He's bleeding. What's going to happen next? This match is just getting going. But then they go, no, 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 timeout, he's bleeding. No timeout, he's bleeding. Keep the match going, because now all of a sudden this match that we're kind of lukewarm about, all of a sudden it's hot and we're interested. All of a sudden we're watching and we're like, whoa, wait a second. This match was like a little fire, right? That all of a sudden somebody poured gasoline on and it started blazing, and everybody starts watching it, and WWE goes, pour some water on that shit. We need that fire needs to be smaller. We don't want anybody getting too excited here. It's dangerous.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Come on, man. You're right, Dave. You're absolutely right. Looking at like old school wrestling, none of that shit would have happened. There would have been blood all over the cage. I miss those days, but I'm going to tell you something. The worst part was, listen, man, AJ, man, I was really excited about the match. That's why I gave it an 8.5. It's really because of that part where they sort of pan in and panned out when you got 3 people attending and they're putting polysporin and a freaking like Looney Tune like Band-Aid on him and get back in there. It kills it. You're the Demon, man. You came in looking like Hell in a Cell, is like there's gonna be blood and guts and all that kind of stuff, and for a little cut, come on, dude.
Yeah, it was not cool. It was really, it was really not cool. I did not enjoy the fact that they had to stop the match there. I really think it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
they should just keep it going, but they stopped it, and I think they hurt the match. But Finn and Edge worked hard, and they did some cool stuff. Finn
He did.
climbing up on a platform on the cell when Edge was set up on that table there, and Finn going for the double stomp, and Edge moving, and Finn just kind of double stomping the table and crashing through. That was a cool spot. Edge hit a spear for a 2 count, and then eventually the finish came when he set Finn up with the concerto. And this was the story they were telling, which I enjoyed, is that Edge, you know, whatever he did to Finn, it couldn't stop him. Like, he hit him with chairs, and Finn kind of no-sold it because he was the demon, right? And you can't stop the demon. You can't hurt the demon. And that's what Finn was trying to portray here in the match. That's what they were trying to do, is, you know, show that Finn was this unstoppable force, and the only way for Edge to finally finish him would be to hit him with the most devastating move in his arsenal, the concerto, where he puts a chair down on the floor, if you've never seen it, then puts a guy's head down on the chair, and takes another chair and whacks it, and, you know, ostensibly smashing the guy's skull into a million pieces. I think Edge stole the move from Jungle Boy. Doesn't Jungle Boy do that in AEW? I'm kidding, of course. I know that Edge and Christian, I believe it was Edge and Christian doing it first, not just Edge, but yeah, it was an Edge and Christian thing, and Christian does it in AEW, and Edge does it in WWE, and Jungle Boy does it in AEW too on Christian, because, you know, why not? So Edge beats Finn Balor in the Hell in a Cell, which I think I expected. I'm pretty sure I predicted Edge to win this match. The match was all right. But, you know, it had its problems. The pacing of it was not great, and especially the break there for the blood. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life. Okay, what else happened here tonight at WrestleMania? We opened up the show with Brock Lesnar and Omos. Omos hit Brock with 2 massive body slams. Good God. Picked him up, down, big slams. Brock took some slams early, but then Omos really slowed it down with a bunch of bear hugs. That match...
Those bear hugs, man.
I mean, that match only lasted 4 minutes, 55 seconds, but it felt like an eternity there when Omos cut the pace down and just was bear hugging Brock. It slowed to a crawl, and it got really boring, and then Brock eventually fought back and hit 3 German suplexes, and then he went for the F5, but his back kind of went out on him, and then Omos went for the choke bomb, but Brock popped out of it, and then he hit the F5, 1, 2, 3, simple match, simple finish. Brock worked under 5 minutes, got paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for that appearance, and gets to go home early because he's first match on the card, which is exactly what he wants to do. He wants to get in, get paid, get out.
And he'll have his Budweiser. Listen, Dave, I'm going to tell you something on that. To be honest, I think it was shortened because I think Brock got hurt. I saw him when he threw that suplex, in a sense. Something happened with his hip. He was walking out of the ring, and he wasn't exaggerating or pretending he was hurt. I think he hurt his hip. There's something wrong with Brock, guaranteed. I think lifting up a guy who's 410 pounds is a lot different when you're picking up someone of 265, 250, and so forth. Regardless, you know, a suplex, which I know pretty well, is easy when you get a guy in motion and you're throwing him over. But just that initial lift of a guy of 410 pounds, even if he helps himself up, there was something wrong. I think Brock legitimately hurt himself. I think there's something wrong with his right side hip. We'll see. That's my take onto it.
Omos
but I think it
did toss him early
hurt
in the match, and he landed right on his hip.
He did, but I think Brock injured it when he lifted Omos just at the end. I think
it might have been on that initial toss, because he tossed him and Brock went flying, and he landed like right on his hip. He didn't land flat on his back. He landed right on the hip.
It was something weird.
Maybe, but I think the match was going to go 5 minutes whether Brock was hurt or not. Like, that match that they did was the planned match, and they did not shorten it. Maybe they did a little bit less because Brock got hurt, but they did not shorten that match. That's exactly as long as Brock usually wrestles.
He made Brock look like a little kid in there, man. That was crazy, man. You know, Brock, you've met Brock.
Seeing Omos in there and knowing that, you know, he's a pretty athletic guy, doesn't it make you want to see a super heavyweight division in MMA? Like if Brock is the biggest he's one of the biggest heavyweights we've ever seen. He had to cut to make 265. Don't you think seeing guys like Omos that there's room for a division in MMA of guys that are over 265 pounds? Wouldn't you like to see Omos fight other gigantic guys in UFC? It'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Especially now especially now the UFC and WWE are going to be one company, super heavyweight division might not be far off.
Listen, man, in the past in MMA, there was a super heavyweight division. I just think that it kind of takes away from the heavyweight division. I would just make it a heavyweight division, regardless, man.
Open weight.
It doesn't matter. Open weight, man. When you're heavy, it doesn't matter. You're from like 250 to 350, 400 pounds. It doesn't make a difference. You're a heavyweight. It's the skills that count at that point.
But that's talking, anywhere between 207 pounds to, 1,000 pounds would be heavyweight, which is
listen,
big,
man. We used to see that.
I don't know
UFC
if athletic commissions would sanction that type of gap, but I mean, as it stands, it's anywhere from 207 to 265, which is the biggest gap in all of MMA, and it's pretty damn massive. So there's that.
Listen,
too, right?
I would open it up. I would open it up and not put a super heavyweight and just keep it into like a more expanded heavyweight division.
Did you like Omos?
I loved him, man. He really was impressive. He was like just tossing. He was just tossing Brock like he was nothing, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? He wasn't breaking a sweat. And I was like, I think Brock is gonna lose this. I really thought Brock was gonna lose this match. It looked like he couldn't do anything. And then, like, with the the suplexes, the German suplexes, whatever he was doing, man, I was like, okay, here goes like Suplex City, Brock. But it wasn't enough. It was like he was having a hard time lifting him. And and Brock is one strong beast.
Well,
but that's why I said, man,
a lot of it was for show because that's kind of the point. Like, can Brock lift him? And a lot of that was for show. Brock Lesnar, the betting odds going into this, he was the biggest favorite of the night. So Brock was for sure.
Yeah, and I was looking at his stats. Like, it's his 12th WrestleMania match. I mean, this is his 12th WrestleMania match. How many more can Brock do? Let's be honest. He's getting up in age. The way he walked out, I think his hip is, like, done.
His contract is up, apparently, with the WWE. So we'll see. Maybe he'll sign a new deal. Maybe he won't. He's 45 years old.
There's a lot of wear and tear, dude.
Again, UFC, WWE merger. Endeavor, the parent company of the UFC, is going to purchase the WWE. Vince McMahon is going to stay on and have some sort of control over the UFC as well. He's going to be working for this new company that the Endeavor group is starting, which is going to be a UFC, WWE combined company somehow, which,
crazy. As
I say, it sounds not even true. Sounds like something that I would have dreamt up. But I believe this is true, right? This isn't some sort of drug-induced hallucination that I'm on, AJ. This is all real, right? You're reading the same stuff I am?
Yeah, no, there's a lot. It's been a lot of talk. It just didn't happen today. This has been going on for a long time. There was some rumor a couple of years ago about this happening. I brought it up, and everybody was like, they shot me down. I'm like, listen, man, if there's two organizations that can merge, it's these guys. And let me tell you, boxing is not that far off. Just because of the fact that I saw Gamebred and what he did over like last night, I'm telling you, man, there's something else in the works for boxing as well. But just look at it. Endeavor is going to own 51% of this new combat sport. Wow. And the WWE will own about 49%. So the thing is that you're looking at a $9.3 billion value. This is big, man. And no one can do more marketing than the WWE, and the UFC is going. See, that's the thing with the UFC where boxing kind of lost. The UFC sort of grows with the trends. They never stop. They just don't get stagnant. They know what to do for the future, and this is the future. And for the WWE as well. There's a lot of hybrid between a lot of these fighters going back and forth. I was happy to see Ronda win tonight. Especially me, an MMA guy. I like to see Brock win, which I thought he was going to lose. And I like to see Ronda win because every time Ronda loses, man, I'm like, Ronda could kick the shit out of any of those girls. All the cover girls that were there, which were really hot, by the way. I must admit, really hot women, man. A lot of hair in that ring. I like to see Ronda win. But this is the future, man. On the business side of things,
it's
I
crazy.
think this is going to be a strong merger.
And if
it's
they
crazy,
can,
man.
if they can throw boxing in there. I mean, could you imagine one company running pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, and boxing in North America? Like, that is pretty massive. Just as it is right now, one company being in charge of the biggest pro wrestling and MMA organizations in the world today is pretty damn nuts. And, Brock Lesnar is an interesting piece of this puzzle because he is a draw for both UFC and WWE. And I know he's 45 years old, but let me tell you, Jon Jones doesn't care how old Brock Lesnar is, and Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world. And past Stipe Miocic, I don't know who really excites Brock Lesnar. I don't think it's Curtis Blades, I don't know who really excites Jon Jones. I think it might be Brock. I think Brock might be next after Stipe, because, by the way, speaking of boxing, Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou is happening. Like, it's pretty much a done deal, right? They're doing it. They're boxing. So Ngannou is not coming to the UFC. He's about to get PAID big time with Tyson Fury. Like, we're talking tens, possibly 100 million, like in the high 10, over $50 million probably for this boxing match. So he's not going to be in any hurry to run back to the UFC for whatever offers. So they're going to be looking for some options for their heavyweight champion of the world. Jon Jones and Brock Lesnar would be pretty damn fun. Pretty damn fun. So I could see that taking place, man. I really it's a possibility, AJ. It's a possibility, especially now. Now more than ever, there's going to be crossover. For those UFC fans that are upset about WWE possibly doing crossover, I'm sorry. It's the way it is. Maybe WWE fans are upset because they don't care about the UFC, but I'm sorry. But for me, for guys like me who love both, this is kind of cool. It is kind of cool. And people are like, well, Endeavor are a bad company and they treat the employees incorrectly. And sure, that may be so. But whoever was going to buy the WWE, you could find a reason to say why they're an evil corporation. Anybody who could wrangle up $10 billion, chances are you could find some reasons why they're evil. Right? Whether it's the Saudis, Disney, Comcast, or Endeavor, you could find some reasons why any of those groups are evil. And I would even argue that Endeavor was one of the better options from the options I just listed. Who would you rather the WWE cross over with? Mickey Mouse or Jon Jones? Who do you want to see on your WWE TV? Prince Saudi whoever or Conor McGregor?
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Good point, Dave.
Come on.
You're right, man.
Now, some people are mad, whatever, but I'm telling you, of the options that we had here, other than keeping it in the McMahon's hands and keeping it with Triple H and all of that, which might have been the best option overall, this thing was getting sold, and I think that this Endeavor deal is probably the best thing overall for the fans. So I'm not mad at it. I'm actually kind of excited, and I can't believe that the two things that I love most in the world are going to be owned by one company. Maybe it'll cut costs for me, where I can just subscribe to one streaming service. I mean, if there's a WWE, UFC streaming service where I could just pay for one thing for all the things I want to watch, there'd really be nothing else I need to subscribe for in the rest of my life. So I'm good. I'm pleased. Dana White and Vince McMahon working together on the same side. I know what my WrestleMania main event is next year. Dana versus Vince and Connor versus Roman. Ooh, baby.
It'll happen, man. Listen, I said that for the longest time, and mark my words, we're going to see Conor McGregor in the WWE at some point. It might be sooner than you think. Listen, nobody believed me when I talked about the Jake and Logan Paul and then all that, and I said they would change the face of sports. I said that a long time ago, and I was right. And I talked about this merger with the UFC and WWE years ago, man. And I said it's something that can possibly happen. There are two strong companies going in the right direction, man. You can't get stronger than them. I said boxing, man, I love boxing, but they don't have that same marketing capabilities like these guys. Dana White, is synonymous with the UFC. It doesn't matter what fighter, you know Dana White, you know Vince. No matter what wrestling, you know, from the old days to the young, Vince is always there, man. This is a family-owned business. They've been involved, but the direction, the future, man, especially for market share worldwide, okay, this is the way you do it. And
Cool.
let me tell you, man,
it's pretty
the
cool.
UFC, man, has invested huge amounts of like training facilities in Singapore, in Russia. Now they're going to Mexico soon. I mean, you know, there's a reason for all this. You know, they're training a new breed of fighters, man, and it's going to be crazy and exciting. And you know what? It gives a lot of opportunity for guys in combat sports to actually make a living out of it, especially when you go into the lower ranks and try to make your way up. Listen, man, Conor McGregor's first fight, I think he made $5,000. And today, as we speak, he's like closer to $1 billion. It just goes to show you, man. You know, there's a lot of opportunities.
I understand, man. Conor McGregor is very rich, and I think it's cool for guys like Conor McGregor who have maybe, you know, talked themselves into superstardom, but maybe fought themselves out of relevance, that they can find a new avenue over in the WWE. You know, they're stars, but maybe they're not at the peak of their fighting careers anymore, so they could go into the WWE and have some success, which brings us to Ronda Rousey, who, you know, lost a couple fights and then became a pro wrestler, and she got a win tonight and didn't really have to do much of anything. Apparently, Ronda has a broken arm, so she really didn't wrestle. She wasn't in the match. She was on the apron the whole time. It was a fatal four-way tag team match. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler wound up beating Shotzi and Natty, Liv Morgan and Raquel, and Chelsea Green and Sonya when Ronda put the armbar on Shotzi. Shotzi was already down, and Ronda got tagged in by Shayna, put the armbar in, and that was it. Ronda didn't do much because she's hurt, but they won. The match was, you know, it was what it was.
Awesome.
Well, awesome?
I loved it, man. I like that match. You know, the double leg lock, I thought that was pretty interesting, you know.
The what?
That double, the leg lock, that when she had both girls like into this double leg lock and she put them in a scorpion move, I thought that was pretty impressive.
Who?
I like that. In that match, man.
Who did that?
Man, I can't remember her name. One of the fighters. I was just looking at the actual execution of it, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. She had like 4 legs and went into a scorpion move, man.
Okay. So you like that match?
Damn, what were you watching? AJ was watching a lot of this shit.
I thought that was probably the weakest match on the whole card. It was.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest one, but it was. They had some interesting parts of it. I kind of liked it. I like Ronda's like tap out, man, at the end.
I mean, I like Snoop and Miz better than this match, so that tells you something. Next, though, we had one of the best matches of the night, one of the best matches of the weekend, as we expected. Gunther getting the win over Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in the triple threat to retain the Intercontinental title. Tons of chops in this match. Tons. Everybody's chest was all messed up. Sheamus hit like 26 shots on the apron when he had Drew McIntyre there on the apron, and he does those shots, bam, bam, bam. The crowd was counting.
28, Dave.
28, yeah. It was a lot of shots. They all hit each other really, really hard, which is exactly what we're looking for. After those 28 shots on Drew, the crowd gave Sheamus a standing ovation. They were really hot for Sheamus. They were hot for this whole match. It was a hot crowd tonight overall. Gunther hit a powerbomb on Drew for a 2 count. Sheamus hit his razor's edge on Gunther for another 2 counts, some false finishes in this one. Sheamus put Gunther in the cloverleaf, but Drew stopped him. Sheamus hit the bro kick on Gunther, but then Drew McIntyre pulled him out of the ring. Sheamus had the match won, hit his big kick on Gunther, 1-2, but Drew pulls Sheamus out of the ring, which, of course, Sheamus didn't like because his buddy just cost him the Intercontinental title. Sheamus hit the brogue kick on Drew McIntyre, but Drew kicked out himself, kicked out at 2 after taking the brogue. Drew hit Sheamus with the Claymore, but then Sheamus kicked out, so they exchanged kicking out of their finishers. And at this point, Gunther had disappeared for quite a while. Like, I don't know if you noticed,
was he having
Sheamus and Drew were wrestling quite a bit in the ring, and Gunther was nowhere to be found.
I think he went to the snack counter, like have a couple fries or whatever. I'm not sure, man. He was gone. I was like, what happened to Gunther? He's gone. Well, but anyways, it was an interesting match,
reemerged.
Man.
He reemerged. Sheamus hit the brogue kick, went for the cover, but Gunther reappeared from the top rope, hit a splash on Sheamus to interrupt the cover, grabbed Sheamus, powerbombed him on top of Drew McIntyre, then grabbed Drew McIntyre and powerbombed him to the mat. 1, 2, 3. Gunther, the ring general, still WWE Intercontinental Champion, one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Gunther,
he's impressive.
Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre as well on a top level of professional wrestling. A fantastic match. And once again, I can't wait to talk to Johnny North and have him back on the show, because I called all these matches and Johnny North was wrong.
Ooh,
Johnny had Drew McIntyre winning this one. I told him Gunther was going to win. Johnny had Cody winning the main event. I told him Roman was going to win. Me and Johnny disagreed on a lot of these matches tonight, and I think I got most of them right, and he got most of them wrong. So,
poor Johnny.
I'm feeling good.
Listen, man. Listen, you know what? That was that to me, like I said earlier, was the match of the night. It was so exciting. I loved it.
He called Finn Balor too to win the Hell in a Cell, and I called Edge. Like I called everything tonight. I got everything right. Everything.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, look, I like Gunther, man. Gunther is exciting. He's something about him. He has like this presence and whatnot, except for when he disappeared. But let me tell you, man, William Wallace did not win tonight. Freedom lost, man. It was a Brock night. It didn't work. And you know what? Regardless, man, Sheamus looked good in the ring. You know, McIntyre looked good in the ring, but Freedom didn't win tonight, man. Sorry, Scotland.
Well, it was Austria's night. It was Gunther. Another great performance from Gunther, and I think he's going to have a very big year in the WWE. Don't be surprised if you see him in a main event next year at WrestleMania, because he is that good. And, you know, if there's a babyface champion next year at Mania, I could see Gunther being a top heel to go against him and possibly even be a champion before WrestleMania. We never know where Roman Reigns will go going forward.
I like his style, Dave. I'll be honest. When he came out, man, with his coat and everything, man, it was cool, man. The only thing I would suggest to him, if he's listening later on, is listen, if you're going to wear that coat, don't take it off before you get in the ring. Wear the coat in the ring, parade about, and then toss that shit out. You got to, like, you know, that whole presence with the jacket, man. I was like, man, this guy is like, he's intimidating, man. He's got the look. Yeah. So don't take it off before. Get in the ring and put on a show and toss it around, man. Even flick it in the face of your opponent, man. You know, you got to make it fun.
I don't even know about him moving on to a different championship, like holding the Intercontinental title for a really long time might be the move for Gunther. Just make him the Intercontinental Champion, the guy. You know, when you think of the Intercontinental title, maybe you'll just think of Gunther forever, you know? Make him the Intercontinental Champion. I don't hate it.
He's been champ for what?
He represents that championship really well. It's been known as the kind of workhorse champion, the guy who can really wrestle. That's the guy who holds the Intercontinental title, and Gunther is that guy, without a doubt. Next, we had Asuka and Bianca Belair. Asuka had a bunch of lookalikes for her entrance. Bianca had a bunch of little girls. It's a group called the Divas of Compton. They did a dance.
That was cool.
They were all dressed as Bianca. There was one girl who kind of flipped over herself. The tiniest girl came out and she did this flip over her. I don't know how she did that.
If that was AJ that did that, you might as well come and get me flowers at the hospital.
Yeah, your neck would be broken. This little girl did it with a smile on her face. Unbelievable. It was crazy, a really cool moment, because you could tell that they were really happy to be there, and Bianca was really happy to have them there, and there was just something there in that entrance. It was my favorite entrance of the whole weekend. I thought it was really nice. I liked it a lot, and you know,
it
was cool. It was a cool moment there for Bianca.
The only thing is with the announcer, he didn't really know like real moves like in jiu-jitsu and whatnot. So she went from, what was it? She was in a triangle at one point. Asuka and not Asuka? Bianca. Asuka was in Asuka. She was Asuka. But she was like in a triangle, and she transitioned from a triangle to an omoplata, and it was really slick, man. I was like, wow, very nice, man. Like, she's really using some nice moves. But the announcer's like, she's in a triangle, and I think she's going to some form of an armbar. I'm like, dude, man, you better like, start like educating yourself more, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of real moves that are in there that are in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and I was like, what, man, it's an omoplata, dude. I forgot what announcer it was. It was one of the not the Spanish guys, because they lost their table, but
Probably
like
Wade
the two
Barrett
other
or
guys.
Michael Cole.
Yeah, I think it was Michael Cole. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But all to say, man, that was a
Leor
really
helping
good
us
fight.
out. The
What do you say?
double leg
Leor, what's
move
up?
that you were talking about, it was
Yeah,
Natalia who did a double sharpshooter in that match.
yeah, that was pretty impressive. I like that one.
Thank you, Leor.
Thank you, Leor.
So Bianca at one point power bombs Asuka outside the ring, brings her in for a pin, but only gets a 2 count. She superplexed Asuka. Asuka was on the apron. Bianca was on the second rope. She grabs Asuka, lifts her up, and superplexes her back in the ring. Tremendous show of strength there from Bianca. At one point, though, Bianca...
One last thing.
Hang on. At one point, Bianca slammed Asuka's head in the turnbuckle and
Yeah.
started taunting her, and the crowd turned and started booing Bianca, which I don't think was the desired effect there. It was a little bit odd. Asuka went for the mist and completely missed everybody. I don't know who she was trying to hit there, but the mist didn't really go out very far. Like, she sprayed and nothing seemed to come out. I don't know what happened with the mist, but it was kind of a backfire, which is disappointing, especially on a weekend where you have, the master of the mist, the great Muta, getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, and we saw Muta getting a nice round of applause from the crowd tonight. So Asuka going for the Muta mist, and the mist was just flat, and I think that hurt the finish. Bianca ducked, set up the KOD. Asuka rolled out. Asuka put Bianca in an armbar, but Bianca fought out, lifted Asuka up, showed the power, hit the KOD, 1, 2, 3, and that was the finish. Yeah, I thought the finish was a little bit flat, a little bit obvious. The match itself was solid, but it didn't feel like WrestleMania. It didn't feel like it ever got out of the first gear. It just felt like a simple TV match, nothing that special, and I was hoping for more, quite frankly. And I don't think the match really lived up to what it should have been. The build wasn't great, and the match didn't deliver. So I think we need to move on from this. I don't know. I was disappointed a little bit with Bianca here in this match. I thought it was not her best performance. And at WrestleMania, in a match like this, you have to have one of your better performances. So I was a little disappointed in Bianca and Asuka too. Like, I don't know. It wasn't the best.
Listen, man, I was going to say, actually, up to that point there where Asuka got, like, Bianca in an armbar just leading up to the win. I thought it was a really, like, interesting way to escape from that armbar, because she really did it technically. Bianca had her thumb down. If people don't realize how an armbar goes, if your thumb is facing the sky or up, like, towards the sky, you're going to close that armbar to win. And Bianca actually turned her thumb to the ground. And you could see that. And I was like, wow, she escaped it, like, in a real way. And then, it escalated where, Bianca ended up taking the win. But just the escape from that armbar, to me, was impressive. I kind of liked the technical aspect of that fight, where I was giving it more, like, realistic, changes and whatnot from certain positions to others. So the transitions were, like, on the ball. And like I said, the armbar was a great escape by Bianca to get the win. In my opinion, I thought it was pretty solid.
Well, Asuka can really fight. She knows what she's doing. So, I don't know. Maybe I expected more. I had maybe higher expectations going into it. I thought Bianca would do a little bit more. Like, she had her moments, but it wasn't the best Bianca Belair performance. I've seen her have better matches, so I didn't think that this was anything great, especially when you're the Raw champion and you're going to get compared with the SmackDown Championship last night, which was Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, which, to me, still match of the weekend overall, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, and I just don't see Bianca and Asuka in that conversation. So that's why I think, a little bit of a disappointment, a little bit of a stumble there for Bianca on this long title reign. Overall, though, I thought we liked WrestleMania. I thought the weekend was good. I gave night 1 an 8, night 2 a 7, so I guess a 7.5 is our average score for WrestleMania 39. My night 1 match of the night was Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. My night 2 match of the night was Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And once again, I told you that Roman Reigns would win, and he did. So, how do you like them apples?
Cheater.
I love it. I love it.
Cheater.
Because people on Twitter and stuff, when I said that Roman would win, they were like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Some people were kind of rude about it. It's nice when, and I was like, whoa, it's just wrestling. Like, take it easy, you know? It's nice when the people like that are wrong. And Dave
Actually,
is right.
It's my Randy look.
Why are you wearing shades indoors? Because you were trying to be like Macho Man Savage and like Roman Reigns because of the tribal chief thing, the lay.
It's a hybrid there.
Mm-hmm. So thank you to everybody for tuning in all weekend. We had a great time for WrestleMania.
Listen, man, 181,000 people, man, that attended this like event live. That's incredible, man. 181,000, man. Over 2 nights, man.
161,000.
Was it 100? I thought it was. Let me just check.
81,395 tonight.
Yep.
And last night it was 81,000, 80,000 something. So yeah,
still,
161,000 over 2 nights. Yeah, it's very impressive, of course,
man,
for sure.
Big time.
Yeah.
And good crowd, man. Like, it was a lively crowd, man. Impressive.
Man, it's WrestleMania, baby. It only happens once a year, but they milk the hell out of it, and they do it up, and they do it well. And this was a solid rendition of WrestleMania. We can only imagine what they'll give us next year, WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, and of course, we're now on the road to WrestleMania 40. We're looking forward, and Johnny and I will be back on Friday night to talk Wrestling Uncensored. I'm sure the Raw after WrestleMania tomorrow night will be very eventful. The SmackDown after WrestleMania on Friday night will be eventful, and we'll be on right after SmackDown on Friday night to break it all down and to start figuring out where we all stand heading into WWE Backlash in May in Puerto Rico. I think already we probably will get Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny against Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest. I think we probably get Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in some sort of rematch. Cody, as AJ pointed out, got cheated out of the victory. Solo Sikoa hit Cody. Cody was about to win. He had Roman done. He had him 2 crossroads, about to hit the 3rd. Paul Heyman jumped on the apron. Solo Sikoa hit the spike. Roman hit the spear. Cody gets screwed. Roman wins. I think Cody and Roman going forward makes a ton of sense. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cody won the title at WrestleMania Backlash, you know? Just not WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the night when the WWE guys go over. Any other night, I could see Cody beating Roman. Maybe he'll beat him at Backlash. I don't think he will. But I could see that match being next. Maybe Seth Rollins, after the win over Logan Paul, inserts himself in that. I did hear rumors of Seth, Roman, Cody triple threat at Backlash, which, given the history between Roman and Seth, given the history between Roman and Cody, and of course the history between Cody and Seth, they've got a nice little triangle feud there that they can work on and they can get to. So I think Roman, Seth, Cody would be my main event for Backlash, but we'll see what the WWE does. Maybe they've got surprises up their sleeves. Maybe they signed Jay White and they want him to challenge Roman Reigns. Who knows? AJ nodding like he knows who Jay White is. I love it. I love it. Doug Hepburn, thank you for dropping the super chat. I want to thank Harold Schneider. You are the super chat leader of the night. Thank you, Harold. Thank you to all the members tuning in live here tonight, seeing a lot of the members on our on our WrestleMania post show here. I got UFC on the brain because AJ is with us. Join.ringsidereport.net is where you want to go. Join.ringsidereport.net. $5 a month, supports the Ringside Report Network, and it helps us out a great deal. You have no idea how much we appreciate each and every one of our members. You guys are the lifeblood of the Ringside Report Network, and I would not be doing these shows without you guys. So a big thanks to Ray Cruz, a big thanks to Lior, A big shout out, of course, to Harold Schneider, to Doug Hepburn, to Angelo Contagonis. Who else? Of course, Jason Pete out in Mexico, supporting the Ringside Report Network. Did I see
Shout out to
other,
the Rumble, man. We have like thousands of people watching on Rumble.
Members on YouTube. Yeah, I'm talking about the paid members, though, over at join.ringsidereport.net. So thank you to all the paid members. Appreciate you guys, especially because you guys support the Ringside Report Network. That $5 a month goes a long way here for the channel, so we appreciate you, especially on this marathon weekend that I've been on. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday night, doing shows 4 straight days, and then waking up early and taking care of 2 kids. It's been a marathon, and it's a school day tomorrow, so I'm going to have to wake up in like a few hours. It's gonna be rough. Man. I don't think I'm going to make it to jiu-jitsu in the morning. I think I'm going to take a nap after I get my son ready for school. I think that's the plan. Send him to school and then go to sleep maybe if I can.
You're so lucky. Listen, just a quick shout out to Johnny because Johnny is not here tonight. But let me tell you, Johnny won yesterday. He had a big wrestling match, and Johnny kicked ass, man.
Johnny
so
is the
thumbs
best.
Up to Johnny.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Johnny. Of course, he had a big weekend. He was not with us here, but we'll get his thoughts on WrestleMania coming up on Friday night. But Johnny was wrestling yesterday and wrestling today, so he couldn't join us. But Johnny is a great professional wrestler and was very busy WrestleMania weekend, as most professional wrestlers are. So shout out to Johnny, and I hope he kicked ass this weekend, and we'll hear all about his matches next week on Wrestling Uncensored. There's Angelo Contagonis stealing the show at the end with the Super Chat. He is the new Super Chat leader. Thank you, Angelo, for supporting the team. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everybody. And, of course, we have another big weekend coming up next week, AJ. I'm going to be on for not 4 straight days because the UFC doesn't do 2 pay-per-views in a row, but we will have Ringside Report MMA coming up on Thursday night. I'm sure we'll talk about the UFC-WWE merger some more on Thursday, and we'll be previewing UFC 287 coming out in Miami. Israel Adesanya against Alex Pereira, the rematch for the UFC middleweight title, is on Saturday night. So we'll be doing a watch-along for that pay-per-view as well. Jorge Masvidal against Gilbert Durinho Burns. Tremendous pay-per-view, tremendous double main event for the UFC 287 pay-per-view. So we'll be on Thursday night, 8 p.m. to preview the UFC fight card, give you our picks, give you our parlays. And Johnny and I will be back on Friday night after SmackDown for Wrestling Uncensored. And then Freddie, AJ, and I will be back Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the UFC 287 watch-along. So we are staying busy here on the Ringside Report Network. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in here tonight for WrestleMania 39 Night 2 post-show on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.